Have you ever felt empty? The feeling that is eating away at you. It's not necessarily painful, but it's unpleasant. Your soul appears to be hungry and it needs something to eat. It may not be as painful as, I don't know, depression or other feelings that I don't really know, but still, it's uncomfortable and awful. I don't know how to describe it. It began when I was around 14 or 15. I was on a trip with my family and I guess we were having fun. At least that's what we were supposed to feel on a vacation, right? My mom was buying something and I wasn't really into it, so I sat somewhere waiting for her and it suddenly hit me. I felt empty and there I was asking myself, is this all there is to life? Will I have to endure this mundanity for the rest of my life? It's such a weird question to ask, especially when you're supposed to have fun. I couldn't find any joy, nothing excites me, and it's just, well, painful. I guess it's painful in a way. So, what happened after that? Well, at first, it wasn't really that bad, but as time goes by, it gets increasingly unpleasant, and things in life just feel gray. There's no color, and you just live for the sake of living. And what is the purpose of all this? I feel numb, and I wanted to feel something instead of feeling nothing. People say they don't want to feel anything, but not feeling anything is just so painful. So, what do you do when you feel empty? Well, you try to fill in the void. So, I scoured for movies to watch, and I binged them. And maybe I was not really good at finding movies, but a lot of movies that I watched were not good, and it left me feeling even emptier. I went on YouTube and I watched vlogs or whatever videos I could find just to distract myself from the feeling. I also watched and played video games too. They're fun, but yeah, that empty feeling was still there. From time to time though, you'll encounter some videos that make you feel something, but the feelings don't last, and I tried to cling so hard on the spark of whatever feeling that I experienced, but it seems like I'm catching the spark with a damp hand, and after a few moments, it's gone. Then, in 2017, I was hit with this really bad anxiety. I felt like I was going to hell. At the time, I was quite religious. I felt like no one could ever save me. Not my friends, not my family, not my parents. No one on earth can save me but God. But somehow, I felt like it was too hard to be forgiven by God, and that I needed some kind of sacrifice for me to be forgiven, and it gave me a lot of anxiety. My heart raced from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. I was in a constant fight or flight mode, so my body couldn't relax. I couldn't eat anything without feeling like throwing up, even when it was my favorite food. I talk about this in detail in my Night in the Woods video. You can check it out. But long story short, I found this game and it helped me to get through it. But it kept happening every day for about 2 months, and it was really exhausting living that way. After that 2 months, the feeling subsided, or at least the anxiety was gone. Not the emptiness though. However, there's something that we call triggers, and I had to deal with them. When someone posted about religion or how horrible and scary it can be, I get anxiety attacks, and I would try to avoid it as much as I can. So during that time, I struggled with anxiety and the feeling of emptiness from time to time. I think after the horrible 2 months, it got quite bad. I think I'm a pretty simple person. I like movies, sometimes books, or games, or food. So whenever I go to the mall, I try to look for those things. But it is limiting. My friends, however, like clothes, shoes, watches, plushies, whatever. They like a lot of things and they bring them a lot of joy. I couldn't relate. I think even now, it's hard to relate because I'm not interested in all those things. That condition also helped in making me feel emptier. So, all in all, I just felt empty. But let's go to the end because I don't want to bore you guys with my stories. Fortunately, I met a friend and she introduced me to things that we both happened to be interested in. So I explored the topics, and from exploring, I stumbled upon a new topic, and then another, and another. And it's like a chain reaction, and slowly, I'm learning about the world. I saw how beautiful the world can be, so many possibilities, and so many choices. And suddenly, the world's not as empty anymore. I feel so happy. I guess the best thing about living for me is the feelings you get when you learn and experience new things. Okay, enough rambling, and let's just talk about the nature of emptiness. Well, back in the day, I looked online and it said, I have no purpose in life. And I guess, yeah, I didn't know what I wanted at the time, and I didn't know what I would be interested in. I know I like some things in the natural world, that there's something bigger that I have yet to explore, but I just haven't found them yet. Maybe it's capitalism because, yeah, people love to blame capitalism, and I can't deny it's problematic in some way. Maybe our modern lifestyle has changed from our hunter-gathering days, making it too easy to live, and it removes the purpose of having to find food every day. Online, the pieces of advice to not feel empty are so beautiful. Save time for yourself, explore your feelings, acknowledge your emptiness, connect with others, and do self-care or whatever. But to find things that actually work for you is very hard. I was lucky to find a friend that shares the same interest. I'm lucky I found things I like and want to do with life. But other people are not so lucky. I try to help some people feel less empty, sometimes on Twitter, and sometimes my regular friends, and I tried my best to share my experience, hoping that they would find an answer to their emptiness. But I can't guarantee that if I was put in their situation, or if I was thrown back in time with my emptiness, I can't guarantee I can find my purpose or the cure to my emptiness that I fortunately found in the past. Maybe I was just lucky. That is scary, to think that if it happens to me again, I wouldn't be able to find a way to get out of that feeling. But for the past 5 years, I'm fortunate enough to say that I haven't felt any serious feelings of emptiness, even during COVID and quarantine, except when I have to study for my exams. But they're temporary. I actually found a lot of enjoyment in staying at home. During quarantine, to me, it was the golden age of YouTube because I found some really great channels on YouTube, and it just felt so good watching all these videos. I learned a lot, and I get to say that I once felt euphoric and the feeling of epiphany when I was learning how to make apple cider vinegar at home. This goes to show how much I love the thought of creating and learning. I really like Nietzsche's view on this. In the world of a godless existence and subsequent loss of existential meaning, he wanted to provide philosophy based on the self, agency, and human flourishing. He talked about a cultural revolution where people focus on art, music, and philosophy. To him, our art isn't mere entertainment, but a way to see our own struggles, ambitions, and emotions, thus acting as a medium for gaining an understanding of ourselves and others. He also believed that people have the ability to master themselves and the environment, not in the form of violence, but the mastery of one's emotions and genuine expression. All this is to create a better version of ourselves that create meaning and motivation in the world where meaning is obscured or, at worst, absent. Now, I enjoy watching kids shows or TV shows that are generally good. The thought that we have a lot of cheese to choose from in the supermarket is thrilling to me. That we humans can create something, and the possibilities that we have are almost infinite. Okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, and maybe one day we'll hit an invisible ceiling that puts a stop to our progress, that our intelligence are actually limited. Maybe in 5 billion years, we humans cannot figure out how to get away from Earth, and we're all toast because the sun will expand and it will kill us all. But whatever. I believe that we can figure something out with human ingenuity. I don't know if we have a limit in our ability to make something, or a limit to our intelligence or whatever. But the fact that we have achieved so much in such a relatively short time shows that we're capable of at least something. Only if we don't kill ourselves with nuclear war and climate change though. But yeah, I guess I still have hope and faith in humanity and the things that we're capable of creating and doing. And I guess we have to explore ourselves. Maybe that thought is enough to fill in the void that is emptiness inside me. And I hope my experience can help you in a way. Thank you. Wow, writing this reminds me of the anxiety that I used to feel back in the day and how horrible the feeling of emptiness is. I hate it so much. I guess from time to time, I do feel empty too, especially when I'm forced to do things I don't want to do, like exams. Okay, thanks for watching.